Well, hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the lore behind SNRI, how they kind of became a bigger deal than Anaheim Electronics, and later you see when developing mobile suits, actually making them smaller. We'll also take a look into out of universe, actually in our reality, where that came about. Was that due to needing to make these products smaller to sell and make more money? Or is that just something that the internet came up with? But before we get started, if you haven't, please subscribe, and if you think this is a cool video, give it a like. That helps me understand how much more lore videos I should throw out there. In any event, check the links in the description for ways you can support the channel and our own Discord. We have a lot of fun over there, and even I have a section for lore stuff, so you can even post lore questions, or a separate section just post interesting lore. But let's get started. Alright, and this actually all came up during a recent live stream I did where I was like panel lining Advanced Hazel. But then, chat, we were just going back and forth talking lore, and then SNRI came up and I was doing some reading, and there is a little more deeper lore to SNRI, so let's get into that here. SNRI's predecessor was the Strategic and Tactical Research Institute, an advisory agency for the Earth Federation forces. So an agency that was helping the Federation forces, we can think of this as like Luo & Co., for instance, or even the VIST Foundation. So it looks like Strategic Tactical Research Institute was an agency kind of helping the Federation understand what direction mobile suit development should go into, whereas Anaheim Electronics did that but also had their manufacturing process down. In September UC 0093, the STRI was reorganized into the Strategic Naval Research Institute. The newly founded SNRI would go on to develop the D-50C Loto, a special operations mobile suit notable for the use of miniaturized thermonuclear reactor, with which SNRI developed independently. That's a cool one. You might recognize this from Unicorn, but it's just really cool how it... Now, this was actually even a special mobile suit designed for ECOAs. They're kind of like the Navy SEALs of the Gundam universe in space. They wanted to have kind of a smaller mobile suit, but that had the ability to transform into a tank. It was also acted as a troop carrier. So it's very interesting to see how cool of a mobile suit it was that they designed before they were the main manufacturer for Earth Federation. That even went on to the F-50D gun tank, which we see in F-91. So I like how Unicorn helped retcon the introduction of this style of mobile suit. That even further went into this RIX-00PT GF tank. I mean, this thing looks pretty cool. It's giving me like gun tank Zeta vibes, for instance, because look at the arm kind of shoulder, or the arm shield things that are going on with the wings, just like a Zeta. It also transforms. This, I might have to do a whole other video on this. In UC 102, SNRI proposed the development of miniaturized mobile suits to the Federation Assembly. In November UC 105, Anaheim Electronics began the development of miniaturized mobile suits under the request of the Federation government. The result was the RGM-109 Heavy Gun, which was rolled out in UC 109. However, SNRI was unsatisfied with the performance of the Heavy Gun and gained the Federation Assembly's approval to begin independent development of the next generation mobile suit. So, curious here, it sounds like while SNRI was on one hand still helping, not only did they manufacture their own transformable gun tank style suits, but they were still helping Anaheim Electronics to the point to where they didn't like what then in the end Anaheim Electronics was then producing. So SNRI wanted to take it up upon themselves to start producing their own mobile suits. All right, and here's the RGM-109 Heavy Gun. Again, this is something we see in F-91. It has that cool sort of GM look, but it even has some cool Gundam elements to it, notably kind of how the head is, how it has the red chin. It has like kind of a backwards V-fin in a way, but really cool looking mobile suit regardless. So in UC 0111, SNR rolled out the F-90 Gundam, as well as its 5 mission packs, which really sounds toyetic. Like, obviously you can sell something from that, and we see that a lot with Bandai releases a lot, like F-90 stuff with all their different packs. The F-90 soundly defeated Anaheim Electronics MSA-120 during a design competition, becoming the Federation's next main force mobile suit. So the 120 is pretty interesting, right? Because it's based on the 109. And just the look of it, too. This seemed to be where Anaheim Electronics was desperate to be in the Earth's Federation's favor, and they went all out. And a lot of Anaheim Electronics had Zionic engineers from the era of the 1 Year War through the different Neo Zeon wars up until now. So they went all out. They went all out Zeonic style. I mean, they went full Zeon here. It even has the mono eye. So it's kind of interesting how in universe there ended up being a war between two different developers slash manufacturers within the Earth Federation, and it became its own little sort of looking Federation versus Zeon battle. Additionally, SNRI also replaced Anaheim Electronics as the Federation's premier weapons developer. However, due to Anaheim Electronics' manufacturing expertise, the company's services are retained to put SNRI's designs into mass production. To regain its technological edge, Anaheim Electronics came up with competing designs by stealing the blueprints of SNRI's Formula series, resulting in the construction of the less-known RXF-91 Silhouette Gundam. So yeah, first seen in 0122, very interesting. So this is pretty much the development of SNRI stolen by Anaheim to make themselves, because the things they were making themselves wasn't really up to snuff. SNRI was beating them out, not only against that Zeonic looking suit they had, but also just in favor of the Federation just preferred the performance of these smaller suits with a higher output. However, by the mid-UC 0130s, it is revealed in Crossbone Gundam Steel 7 that SNRI began to face serious financial problems after they secretly donated their F-97 models to the Crossbone Vanguard Pirate Force in order to help them fight against the Jupiter Empire. Their plan to bring their sales back up in the black was to develop a new series of mobile suits equipped with a miniaturized Minovsky drive. They succeeded with the F-99 Record Breaker, which had speed and mobility surpassing any earlier mobile suit and did not require a burning fuel source for propulsion. After redesigning it with a more Gundamish look, SNRI officials expected the Record Breaker to be a bestseller, but a surprise attack from Jovian forces destroyed the prototypes and all data. F-99 Record Breaker looks pretty cool, very crossbony, but it's a very interesting time of development with mobile suits, because you're getting to a point in the future where there's a lot of just convergence of General Zeonic and Federation designs together, less of that direct genetics and more of just, it could be anything now. Later in UC 0153, it is believed that the Anaheim Electronics sponsored Ligue Militaire, who used the basics of SNRI's mobile suits to produce their own mass-produced suits in the first mobile suit of the Victory series, the LM312VO4 Victory Gundam. That's a lot of numbers and letters. The Side 2 branch of SNRI, on the other hand, renamed itself as Ballistic Equipment and Space Patrol Armory, or BESPA, and started providing mobile weapons for the Zanskar Empire. So very interesting. Now, this is something I actually wasn't too familiar with until I read this just now, is by the time we get to Victory, we're seeing that there's even a split within the main manufacturers of mobile suits, and then they're competing with each other, which is the complete opposite of what happened during the 1 Year War, or slightly thereafter, where after Zeon, the Principality of Zeon was defeated, they absorbed all their engineers, and then they just started making weapons for both sides. Whereas here, we're seeing almost like it's corporate wars. I didn't really think about it that way, although really, they're just providing the weapons for the Zanskar Empire. Although, yeah, could that be a veil for these corporate engineers to try to get a leg back up on what they want to do? Because Anaheim was willing to steal from SNRI, and SNRI was donating mobile suits, which caused some issues. So it's very interesting to see this kind of trifecta of conflicts of interest creating conflict. Okay, so I did a lot of research into figuring out then officially what was going on in our own Earth-based reality that made Bandai, Sunrise, whatever, make the suit smaller for the shows. And in the past, when I got into Gundam and I was doing that research, a lot of what I was reading was that it had to do with the economy. The Sunrise, Bandai, etc. decided to make the mobile suit design smaller anyway so that they could save on money when making the kits. But is it true? Let's look at what I've been able to find. So in universe, this is from Tug Cypher on Reddit. From the Grips War to the events of Hathaway, MS technology was advancing faster than reactor technology, so MS had to have bigger and bigger reactors leading to bigger and bigger suits. Then from Hathaway until F91, when there was relative peace, reactor technology caught up with MS tech and became advanced enough to be downsized and maintain sufficient power. That was a nice couple sentences, or yeah, to really explain in a succinct way what happened. In reality, during the 80s, Japan's economy was booming and Bandai could afford to make bigger model kits, but in 1990, the economy bubble popped and Bandai had to conserve money, leading to smaller models, and by extension, smaller MS. The economy recovered in the early 2000s, which is when Gundam Seed was released, which saw the return of the 18-meter tall MS. Very interesting. And another one, the real-life reason the design shrank was because of marketing employed by Bandai. The early 90s, Japan entered into a large recession. By shrinking the mobile suits, Bandai could sell the 100 Gunpla for less money and thus make them look like a better deal to money-conscious consumers. So someone here is Infinity Snatch. You have a source for that? Sounds BS to me. No way they were doing so badly that saving an inch on plastic would have significantly helped their bottom line enough to petition SNRI to change the narrative of the shows. Which is very interesting, because I have not really found a source myself. If anyone does have a source that they can share, let me know. Okay, here's another one by Tough Shower 7304. Maybe need a water softener. While for real-life reason, Tamino simply wanted a smaller MS to give better perspective, to have a human in the MS in the same frame, and to lighten the animator's burden on drawing big MS, it is the 90s after all. Animation still very much depends on hand drawing. Now that's a completely different reason than what would be done in universe or what was about the economy. And coincidentally is also the time of economy depression, so Bandai just went along so they can still make 144 kit with mobile suits. So it seems to be a lot of various reasons, or maybe it was just there was things in people's heads of what they should be doing moving forward, and it all just converged. Yeah, the economy, in universe, and for the artists. And then I just found another article from Mamerto Adan from Real Rundown, just saying in the 90s, suit sizes began to shrink from the monumental monsters of the UC timeline. We were introduced to the so-called pocket mobile suits of Gundam F91. Supposedly, they were improvements as the story suggested, but this might have been an attempt by Bandai to sell kits to people living in smaller rooms. Yet another, but kind of sort of economy-based reasoning. So anyway, cool lore that has to do with SNRI, with Federation, Anaheim, etc. I love the in-universe lore and reasons for everything. But out of universe, in our reality, I don't think I've really found an exact reasoning for it. If anyone out there has a source, a link you can share to show where someone from Bandai or Sunrise is confirming the reasoning, let me know. But I do think the convergence of all these different things that were occurring does kind of make sense. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Again, if you thought this was a cool video, give it a like so I can do more like this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, yeah, please go ahead and do that. But anyway, guys, we'll talk later.